Operating a motor vehicle while impaired can not only lead to a citation or an accident, the driver's license may also be suspended or revoked, making them an uninsurable driver. Do not consume alcohol for a minimum of 4 hours before getting behind the wheel. Do not drive if you possess or are under the influence of any Schedule I substance, amphetamine, drug, or medication which renders you incapable of driving safely. Law enforcement officers are trained to stay constantly alert both day and night for actions and indicators such as driving too slowly, failing to stay within a single lane, careless or reckless driving, or any other behavior that would indicate the possibility of an impaired driver. Commercial drivers are considered impaired at 0.04% blood alcohol content. The officer will observe the actions of the driver during the initial vehicle stop for additional indicators of impairment, such as the driver's coordination when leaving the vehicle's cab, any open containers of alcoholic beverages in the cab. Containers may be brand name bottles or cans, or they can be plastic cups, thermos bottles, flasks, or plastic bottles with the labels removed. This type of evidence will be confiscated. The driver's appearance, including condition of clothing, breath odor, bloodshot eyes, or eyes slow to focus, confusion or slurred speech, or the manner and type of response to questions and directions. A normal reaction to being stopped by a police officer will involve some degree of apprehension or nervousness. However, a driver that appears unconcerned and inattentive to what is taking place, is hyperactive and talkative, or experiences sudden mood swings from passive to angry will be closely observed for evidence of substance abuse. Commercial drivers may lose their license and become uninsurable if convicted for DWI, even in their personal vehicle, or even while operating a boat or watercraft. On a routine check, after the officer determines, based on the commercial driver's mental state, driving, physical appearance, and actions, that further investigation is necessary, standard field sobriety tests will be administered. Additionally, the officer needs to assess the possibility of a medical condition that may lead to reactions that mimic impairment, such as diabetic shock or fatigue. When the officer determines that there is enough probable cause to arrest a commercial driver for DWI, the procedures are the same as for any driver of any other type or class of motor vehicle. The statutes applicable to implied consent, chemical and breath testing, and the type and number of tests administered will determine the appropriate course of action the arresting officer should take. In the event the officer cannot obtain sufficient evidence of DWI and the driver appears to act in a normal manner, a trained officer or certified commercial inspector should be summoned to the location. This officer can review the driver's hours of service records and other related documents to determine if the erratic driving was the result of driver fatigue, perhaps caused by an hours of service infraction. SMS drug and alcohol violations carry the maximum severity of 10. CDL drivers and their company must comply with drug and alcohol regulations, including pre-employment testing for illegal substance use. Testing for both illegal substances and alcohol misuse is to be conducted in the event of a fatal collision, as well as on a random basis or if there is documented reasonable suspicion. Testing is also required if the driver is cited in conjunction with a non-fatal injury collision or a tow-away collision. FMCSA drug and alcohol regulations do not require employers to provide a substance abuse professional or SAP evaluation or any subsequent recommended education or treatment for an employee who has violated a DOT drug and alcohol regulation. If your employer does offer an opportunity to return to duty following a violation, you must comply with the SAP evaluation and recommendations. In addition, you will be tested monthly for up to the following 60 months. Payment for SAP evaluations and monthly services is left for employers and employees to decide. It may be governed by existing management labor agreements or health care benefits. Check with your company.